Springtime in southeast Missouri means Orioles. Today I'm going to make some Oriole bird feeders. The material I'm starting with is this rough sawn eastern red cedar that was cut off our place when we were clearing. First thing I have to do is plane it down and size it dimensionally. I wanted to mention this is not fine woodworking. This is just rough sawn cedar from the sawmill, and I'm just getting it to a smooth surface so I can plane it square. One of the reasons I cut the larger boards down to more manageable sizes is because I have this little joiner, and it's hard to do a long board and get it fairly straight. Now that we got the root boards all planed down, no certain thickness, just cleaned up so they look pretty, I'm going to go ahead and joint them on the joiner to make the edges square and smooth. Now that I have one edge jointed, I'm going to run them through the table saw to get them a consistent width. Now that they're a consistent width and parallel, I'm going to set them aside for a while until I do the other parts. The bases are all done. After I drilled them and countersunk the backside, I corner rounded the top and then sanded them. I was cutting the holes with a hole saw, the 3-inch hole saw for the jelly feeders on the Oriole Feeder. I set a stop so it wouldn't cut all the way through, and then I can cut it from the other side so it doesn't break out real bad. Once the pilot drill breaks through, then I flip it over and drill from the other side. I'm running as slow as RPMs as the drill press will go to prevent chatter. Ends up with a pretty good result. I'm happy with it. I'll move on to the rest of the parts. After I got all the holes drilled, now I'm going to use this quarter round tool on my router table to break that edge on both sides. It allows the dish to fit down in there better. I'll show you one. It's kind of noisy. After clamping the one piece in the vise and putting glue on it, I laid out 2 center marks on the base to help line it up before I brad nail it and then screw it. By putting one brad nail in on one end, now I can square it up and put the second one in. Then it'll be nice and square, then I can screw it down. Once I got it all brad nailed in place, and lined up and centered, I decided to go ahead and pilot drill for the wood screws to go in, so because the cedar is pretty soft and may split. I decided to drive the first screw in by hand just to get a feel for what's going to happen. After that, I can probably just power drive them in. Put the boiled linseed oil on fairly thick at first. I'm not sure if that's the right way to do it or not, but that's how I'm doing it. Once I get it coated on the surface, a couple surfaces, I generally try to rub it out with a rag to thin it out. Find that if it's too thick, it won't dry and become sticky. So I think this is going to be the first of 3 coats to get this house is protected from the weather. We'll see how it works. Now that I've got it on pretty thick on these 2 surfaces, I'm going to go ahead and rub it out with this rag to thin it out and rub it into the wood. This is the first coat on the second feeder, and I really like the look of the boiled linseed oil on this cedar. It has a lot of character, really brings out the color. I'm pretty pleased with it. 1 more to go for the first coat, and then let it dry, and we're on to the second coat. All done with the first coat, just waiting for them to dry to put the second coat on. Pretty happy so far.